The title of Objectification for my project brings together the two main issues at which I have been looking. Firstly, the externalization, or the projection of character for people, or atmosphere for places, through the accumulation of locally symbolic objects. This is a diffuse and ever-changing process which is something like a material register of a place's or person's more immaterial development. Secondly is the collapse of these externalized objects into a new and imploded identity, an entirely fabricated construction twice removed from the world of facts, and which by this very detachment becomes eminently consumable. This is a process with a very definite end. It is a summary of identity for possession. In terms of people, one can see them marking their history, growth, and personality by the things that they accumulate around themselves. If you ever visit the residence of an elderly person recently deceased, it is usually a powerfully evocative environment which they leave behind, an environment which is often more telling of their character than a conversation with the person themselves would have been. These collections are the registers of someone's entire development. But then there is also what they choose to wear, put on display every day, and carry around on their person. These are the conscious, objective expressions of their character, the manicured, clipped, groomed, and maintained version of the great stock of material memories they keep kept away in private. And similarly, places have their great material accumulations of history and growth, which instead of being in the form of crystal ashtrays or porcelain figurines, are rather fragments, ruins, stopped public clocks, endless swathes of fading ornament. And as they have these redolent collections, which one finds after taking time to get to know a place intimately, so they have their own conscious, objective expressions of atmosphere, carefully chosen, well-placed expressions of all that is best in their past and their character. People create conscious expressions of themselves to impress, to attract other people, and places do the same thing. And when a person receives more attention for being or dressing in a certain way, the attention usually leads to an exacerbation of those characteristics. And so it is also with places. My project pinpoints Capri's past and character, its propagation and distribution of this until it becomes a diffuse and welcoming atmosphere, and then involves a character who, after falling in love with the place, becomes intensely jealous of how it uses its own past and history to keep the visitors immersed and happy in a Caprician environment. This is the first issue of my project. He then embarks on a two-stage attempt to capture an essence of Capri for himself, but because of his method, he becomes the embodiment of the second issue of my project. The harder he tries to capture it for himself, the more consumable it becomes. The more he implodes the island's scattered identity, the less effort is required to experience the island, and so the better it is for tourists, for possession. In the end, instead of uniting with or possessing his island, he ends up turning it into the ultimate souvenir. Something that, yes, he can possess, but then so can everybody else. Capri is an atmosphere of objects perpetuated because of and for guests. The implosion of these objects into one point, into one object, is the lobby. You can carry this object, the lobby, with you wherever you are in the world, and through it, enter the hotel, Capri.